Guess who's back? Yeah, I have absolutely no excuse for this review taking this long, besides the new job taking up all my time and energy, of me moving into a different place. If as you can obviously see, I'm not at my dad's place anymore. I'm at my whole new place with my friends, like a whole different place. So hopefully, with all that in mind, I'm having a whole new different mindset and have more time and energy to be able to do these videos and stream by talking about it. I'm trying to slowly but surely get back into a good mindset to be able to do this in the first place, because this is what I want to do. Or if not to try to be a career path, but at least be a good hobby, just to keep me focused and just making videos, you know. Now, with the excuses aside, let's get to the review. Now, where were we last time? Oh yeah. We know now that here in the States, the Sonic 3 came out in February 1994 due to top issues and limitations with the cartridge size, and had to be split into two different games. That's why, after being launch-based, the game feels so short right before it feels like things are really starting to pick up. However, in October 18th of 1994, Sega presents the second half of this adventure, simply named Sonic & Knuckles, where not only you can play as the Blue Hedgehog Sonic, you can also play as Knuckles the Echidna himself, who we'll get into later in this video. Unfortunately for you Tails fans, he got put in the back burner this time around. Probably should have ruined those chances for those Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 2, you two-tailed prick. Nah, I'm just playing. You cool with me, buddy. But why does the cartridge itself have this weird slot on top of it? It's not a 32X peripheral, is it? But that doesn't release for another month. Well, I should probably get that plot out of the way, shouldn't I? As far as the story, it continues from the end of Sonic 3, where Sonic had just stopped the Death Egg from relaunching, but Sonic himself lands in the first stage of the game, Mushroom Hill. Please, for the love of God, do not tell Nintendo. After the relaunch of the Death Egg falling into Angel Island, Sonic seeks out the Chaos Emeralds again to wait, hold up. I just had all the emeralds in the last game. You mean I had to collect all 7 of them again? Yes! Alright, jeez. This shouldn't be too hard. I've gotten all 7 emeralds again. Surely I could do the same special stages again. Okay, these are not the same special stages I do, but these are 2 challenges. Okay, these are a bit tricky and lengthy, but the last one can't be that bad. Jesus Christ! Clearly somebody from Sega thought these special stages were too easy, because now these stages are ranging from a 5 to a fucking 15. Okay, to be fair, it wouldn't be an added challenge reusing the same special stages from the first half, but they really make you work for getting the same Chaos Emeralds that you just got. And there's no explanation to why Sonic all of a sudden loses them. Maybe the fall from the end of the launch base did a number on and Knuckles swooped in and stole him again while he was unconscious. Alive, but out cold. Look at me getting all off track here. So Sonic goes through 7 stages in the final boss stage if you have all 7 Chaos Emeralds beforehand. If not, the game just ends. 2 of the 7 stages technically have no separate acts like the other stages and like Sonic 3, but they are stages nonetheless. These 7 stages consist of Mushroom Hill, Mario's Fantasy World, Flying Battery. Remember that airship from the last game that hated Tails and did this to my audio? Well, this ain't the same, but man does it love bottomless pits and doing this to my audio. And this also has a mini boss that can only take damage from itself. Robotnik, you stupid mother. Sandopolis. I really don't like this stage. It's rough and coarse and gets everywhere. Plus Act 2 has ghosts. Lava Reef. Not a huge fan of the first act, but I'd be lying if I didn't say it's one of my, if not my most favorite track in this half of Sonic 3. And by ending Act 1 and going into Act 2, that goes into a mineral deposit. Man, I love these transitions between acts and stages. But now we see the Death Egg land on top of the volcano, and man, I'd hate to be Robotnik right about now. Also, that's a huge ass space station. How the hell did it not manage to break the volcano, if not the area as a whole? Anyways, after beating Robotnik one more time, we enter Hidden Palace. There's not much here and only has 1 act, but god damn it, there's Knuckles screwing with us again. He still thinks Sonic wants to steal the emeralds for himself, and that's clearly not the case. But now we get to fight him for all those times he kept derailing me, and he's done. Pitiful. But uh-oh, Robotnik's running off with the Master Emerald, the powerful gem that controls the energy of the Chaos Emeralds. The fuck are those though? Knuckles sees this and tries to stop them, but to no avail. He's electrocuted and falls back with Robotnik getting away with the Master Emerald. Knuckles then leads Sonic to Sky Sanctuary, what I believe is a collection of floating islands that is already part of a giant floating island that is Angel Island. The fuck is this? Knuckles now knows that Sonic is not the bad guy he mistook him for and shoos him to hurry and stop Robotnik and get the Master Emerald back. Of course, he doesn't say this, but you get the point. Point. Like his glove. Which is why he's called Knuckles.
Shut up!
Oh, come on, man. It's just a joke. Anyways, after hopping around the floating isles, destroying Robotniks that kind of look like the Doctor, and introduction of Mecha Sonic, Sonic somehow is able to jump up at the nick of time and make it to the last stage of this game, Death Egg. No longer just a one-act stage with 2 rooms and 2 bosses, but now it's a full-on, lengthy, anti-gravity, tube-shooting stage and tries its damnedest to make sure that you do not have 50 rings to grant you Supersonic. And let's not forget those bottomless pits, which Supersonic can still die from, so do not get careless. If you're able to make it through, there awaits another fight with Robotnik in several phases. After beating that boss, awaits you the final stage, Doomsday, which can only be unlocked if you've gotten all 7 Chaos Summons before reaching Death Egg. If not, then no final boss, and no good ending. Better start that game over and try again. This final confrontation has got to be the coolest final boss up to this point of Sonic's history. Hell, I'm willing to go as far as to say one of the best bosses in the franchise, bar none. Once you defeat this multi-phase challenge, that is it. You have beaten Sonic and Knuckles with the Master Emerald back with Knuckles and safe on Angel Island once more, and you can see the island floating back up where it's supposed to be. Now that's how you end the game. A well done build up to that final boss with a brilliantly executed battle leading to a very satisfying ending. Oh, did you think we were finished? We still got a whole other character to play as. It's time to address the red elephant in the room, the elephant being an echidna, and his name is Knuckles. The last thing you see in Sonic's portion of the game is an egg robo emerging from the rubble from the previously destroyed mechs. Now that's foreshadowing if I've ever seen it. Selecting Knuckles in the main menu starts us up with the cutscene of Knuckles relaxing with some forest critters until someone drops a bomb on him. Literally. Miraculously, none of the animals around Knuckles take any damage from this very close explosion. Maybe it's just a flashbang, but in that closer range has to have some serious consequences, don't you think? Also, just to backtrack a bit, why is this all we get for the menu? The only thing you get here is just to select Sonic or Knuckles. No Tails, obviously. But every other game before this, not including the first game, gave you the 2-player menu or at the very least some options screen. And that's another thing, no 2-player in this game at all. True, the game didn't really need it and they were pressed for time with the release schedule. You know what, I take it back. Knuckles plays similarly to Sonic, but does have some noticeable differences. He's not as fast, can't jump nearly as high, which can make some bosses a pain in the ass, but can use the spin dash just like Sonic or Tails even though he's not in the game, and pressing the jump button again while in the air can grant you flight. Well, he actually glides down ever so slowly, but can climb up walls and reach up some areas, which is required in some platforms, namely Lava Reef. Knuckles' playthrough isn't exactly one-for-one with Sonic's. For one, his story technically takes place after Sonic's story. That's why finding the bosses from before doesn't show Robotnik, but instead shows Egg Robo, who for some reason thinks the brilliant strategies was such a great idea that he should replicate it, even though it failed just as badly as it did before, if not worse. Because this happens at the end of Sonic's story, getting to the end of Lava Reef doesn't end with a boss fight. It just goes straight to Hidden Palace, which itself is nothing, and goes straight to Sky Sanctuary with no Knuckles fight. But Sky Sanctuary itself is nothing but the final boss for this run. If you may recall, defeating Mecha Sonic doesn't end with it being destroyed, just knocked down and weakened, but stays down. At the end of Knuckles' run, Mecha Sonic comes back out of nowhere and tries to take out Knuckles, but only succeeds in taking out the Egg Robo. Mecha Sonic at first is no challenge, but after a few hits, then gets the idea to use the power of the Master Emeralds and goes super? Oh, you got to be kidding. Was this Robotnik's plan the whole time to use the Master Emerald for world domination? Did he know that his robots could absorb the power of the Master Emerald? Why didn't he do this before? Could the same be done with the Chaos Emeralds? Shit, why not at this point? Well, it's no Death Egg robot from Sonic 2 or the giant mech that Sonic fought in space, but he can be pretty challenging with the low amount of rings and Knuckles' slow speed and low jump that I talked about before. He's invincible while in his super state, but loses it after a while and has to recharge, so that's the best time to attack. And like Sonic Final Boss fashion, bonking him around enough times ends the game with another satisfying ending and completing Sonic and Knuckles. And I can't say it's a good sequel if it's just half of the last game, but what if I were to tell you that slot I told you about has a purpose? Alright, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. You can take these 2 games and mix them into one. It's called the lock-on feature and was specifically made for this game, and I'm gonna show you why. You ready? Alright, let's do it. Oh my god. This right here is a full package. The full experience as it was meant to be. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. 2.5 remix. Final chapter prologue. Featured Dante from the Devil May Cry series. and Knuckles. Okay, joking aside, the name is a bit ridiculous, but hell yeah, man, now fans can experience the game like it was supposed to be. No longer two halves of a whole, but the whole thing. Way longer than any Sonic game up to this point, and by far the best of the 2D Sonic games, with added bonuses. Knuckles is now playable in Sonic 3 stages, and even has his story begin in Angel Island instead of Mushroom Hill. Speaking of which, after beating Lost Space and entering Mushroom Hills, Sonic and Tails is stopped to see Knuckles leave out of some sort of room and closing it up. When exploring said room, you see a multicolored glowing special ring. Entering it brings you back to Hidden Palace Zone and remember those things from before? If you have at least one emerald, but hopefully all of them, you unlock the Super Emeralds and have a chance to clear the corresponding special stages, and you don't have to go in order. You can go to any special stage you'd like and do that special stage instead if you want to. Now that's cool and definitely helpful if I want to clear out the easier ones first, or if I want to do the harder ones first and get them out the way. The Super Emerald stages, however, are the exact same ones from Sonic and Knuckles. Hopefully you're skilled enough to clear them out without ever needing to retry or having memorized enough to clear them out in one go. If you're really dedicated enough, you can find enough special rings by the end of Mushroom Hill with or without the lock-on feature. When all Super Emeralds are collected, all three heroes have their own unique transformations. With Sonic, he can turn into a seizure-inducing map. Ooh, pretty light. Hypersonic, a colorful sprite flickering stuff of nightmares who's even faster than Supersonic, can dash in the air in any direction and while doing so acts as a screen nuke for normal enemies, but can still fall in the bottomless pits and get crushed. But still, a major step up from the last transformation is the only game you can see this transformation with. And it's kind of sad. I'd love to see Sonic Team take another crack at this form without being a fan-made mod. Maybe DLC or something, you know? Tails, when having all the Super Emeralds, actually has a transformation. And it's kind of broken. Invincible, faster, and has a flicky army that kills mooks and bosses on sight. Holy shit! Sega saw this and saw, shit, he's too good. He got too much power. This is Sonic the Hedgehog, people! Knuckles does get a super form with the Chaos Emeralds that just make him glow and I guess run faster and invincibility, which is kind of lame in my opinion. But Hyper Knuckles, when all the Super Emeralds are collected, is just the same thing but sparkles and the after images of Knuckles when he runs, and he's even faster. That's something, but kind of lackluster in comparison by the other two. But hey, it's better than nothing I suppose. And I won't lie to you, I used the debug mode to show off these transformations because I pushed this review too far back and didn't want to replay this game 3 damn times for more footage. I promise I'll try not to make a habit out of this, but believe you me, if I ever stream this, no debug. You have my word. Also, you may have noticed that this looks different from the footage that I have for Sonic and Knuckles. Well, reasoning for that is that I don't have a Genesis or physical copies of Sonic 3 or Sonic and Knuckles. Without that, a ROM, a collection game, Steam, or even Origins, there's no other way you can play the original Sonic 3 and Knuckles due to the controversy with licensing and the music tracks that I brought up in the last review. Perhaps when I get into Origins, I'll explain more about that, and trust me, I have a lot to say about what they did to the music. But for now, I'll leave it at that. Well, that's Sonic 3. Surprisingly, the game didn't sell as well as Sonic 2 did, but that probably had to do with the fact that the game was split into two, and people weren't as stoked of having to pay two games as supposed to be one in the first place. Not as much as Sega thought that people were going to be, but hell, what would I know? I wasn't even born then. But wait, it doesn't end there. Out of curiosity, what would happen if we mixed the other two Sonic games with Sonic and Knuckles? Don't even think about putting that CD with that cartridge. Now go on, get! What I mean is putting Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 with the lock-on feature of Sonic and Knuckles. Alright, hold on to your hats, people. No, not literally. Mixing Sonic 2 with Sonic and Knuckles, it gives us Knuckles in Sonic 2. It's the same game, warts and all, but instead of Sonic and Tails, it's Knuckles. So all you Knuckles fans get some love here, but keep in mind he plays exactly as he did before, short jumps and all that. So yeah, the Death Egg robot, 10 times harder. Not joking. No multiplayer though, which is kind of sad. You can on the mobile versions of the game though, so that's cool. For this I played a little of the Sonic Mega Collection for the PS2, and yeah, you can tell from the really low quality, which, I mean, I've had worse. Honestly, I could have went with the Sonic Ages port on the Switch, but when's the next time I'm going to even touch my PS2 for a review? Putting Sonic 1 with Sonic and Knuckles just gives us this screen of Sonic and the gang saying no way. No way? Like, there's no game? Alright, then I'm gonna head up. Fuck it. If there ain't no game, ain't no reason to be recording this. Like, why even have me played if there ain't no game to play? Like, I ain't wasting my time and energy trying to do some shit that ain't got. Actually, if you press the A, B, and C buttons, which in this case just means all your face buttons, whatever controller you're playing on, please pay attention to what version you're playing on. It unlocks the actual game called Blue Spear. Blue Spear is just the special stages from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but all original stages adding up to 134,217,728 stages. That's 2 to the 27th power. Who the fuck has that much time on their hands to clear out that many stages? Apparently getting a perfect on one stage lets you skip up 10 stages, but that's still over 100 million stages to go through. Jesus Christ. You can just look up cheats and use the password system to skip to any stage. That's what I did and went straight to the last one, and oh my god. I'd rather play the ones from Sonic Mania. I did it! I finally cleared the 2D Sonic Classic Genesis games. It should not have taken me this long to do so. But man, I'm glad I finally was able to do it. Now, as far as what game I want to do next, I'm actually not sure. The possibilities are endless with how many games I have and the ways I have to record them, plus the time that I have to even record and make these videos. For those that stuck it out this long, thank you. It actually means a lot to see people actually watching these videos, and yeah, it gives me more inspiration to even make these videos and keep going, to do something that I really enjoy doing. As said earlier, I'm not sure what I want my next game to be. Maybe something small to really get my bearings in, to get these videos going before I want to get to something big. Until then, go check out my other Sonic reviews, perhaps my other Let's Plays or stream VODs if you're ever curious. Also, if you want to see me ramble a lot and watch me fail at a bunch of video games and VR chat, you can check out my Twitch under the same name, A Gamer with a Tail. Link for all these things will be in the description below. With all that said, stay awesome, stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!